The African Democratic Congress, ADC, held its national convention in Abuja. What exactly happened? Is this the beginning of genuine opposition unity ahead of 2027, or just another round of political drama? In this video, we are going to break it all down: the straight facts, the deeper context, and most importantly, what this really means for you and me as ordinary Nigerian citizens. If you follow Nigerian politics closely, this video will give you clear insight into what to expect from ADC as an opposition party for the 2027 election. Hit the like button right now, subscribe to News with Mujad if you haven't, and turn on notifications so you don't miss my future analyses. Now, let's start here. ADC National Convention 2026, Opposition Unity or Political Drama. On Tuesday, 14th April 2026, the David Mark-led faction of the African Democratic Congress conducted its 8th National Convention at the Rainbow Event Center in Abuja. More than 3,000 delegates from all 36 states and the FCT attended. The faction described the event as peaceful and well-organized. However, the party has been facing intense internal litigation, with two factions claiming legitimate leadership. One side is led by David Mark as national chairman, while the other faction is challenging this in court. INEC had issued warnings against proceeding, but the Mark-led group went ahead anyway. They even claimed there were attempts to disrupt the venue, but the convention still took place. Key outcomes from the convention include: delegates ratified the David Mark-led National Working Committee as the authentic leadership. They made amendments to the party's constitution. Some members, including Nafiu Bala and others, were expelled for alleged anti-party activities. David Mark spoke firmly, stating, "You can't litigate us into silence. We will not surrender. ADC cannot be silenced by court or pressure." Prominent guests included former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi, Rotimi Ameche, Rauf Aregbesola, Aminu Tambuwal, and Rabiu Kwankwaso. Before the main event, Peter Obi, Rotimi Ameche, and Aminu Tambuwal held a closed-door strategy meeting at David Mark's residence. The theme of the convention was "So that Nigeria may work." The leaders used the occasion to criticize the Tinubu administration sharply, highlighting worsening insecurity, severe economic hardship, increased poverty, and the unprecedented suffering faced by ordinary Nigerians. Atiku, Obi, and Ameche described the security situation as rapidly deteriorating. David Mark declared that 2027 would not be an easy victory for President Tinubu. These are the clear facts as they unfolded in Abuja. Now, let us connect the dots and understand why this matters at this moment. The ADC has historically been a smaller party without major electoral success. In recent years, however, it has become an attractive platform for prominent figures leaving the PDP and Labour Party. David Mark, a former Senate president, emerged as chairman following internal changes. The party has experienced prolonged leadership disputes, with one faction previously associated with Ralph Nwasu now challenged by the Mark Group. This is not the first attempt by opposition figures to come together against the ruling party. In 2023, Atiku from the PDP and Peter Obi from the Labour Party could not form a united front, which contributed to Tinubu's victory. Now, with the 2027 elections approaching and the economy putting heavy pressure on citizens, high inflation, a weakened naira, the effects of fuel subsidy removal, and persistent banditry and kidnapping, many Nigerians are looking for credible alternatives. The timing is significant. A Supreme Court case on the leadership dispute is still ongoing, yet the Mark faction decided not to wait. They presented this convention as the start of a process to bring real change to Nigeria. It demonstrates that parts of the opposition are determined to push forward despite legal and regulatory challenges. Let me ask you this: is this a genuine effort at opposition unity, or simply a strategic move on the political chessboard? Let us consider three possible interpretations. First possibility: this could be the foundation for real opposition unity. Look at the gathering: Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi, Rotimi Ameche, Aminu Tambuwal, and Rabiu Kwankwaso, all in one place. They did not just attend. They spoke with one voice on the issues of hardship and insecurity in Nigeria. David Mark emphasized the fight for democracy. If these leaders can set aside personal ambitions and egos, this convention might mark the beginning of a stronger coalition or even a merger ahead of 2027. That would give voters a more formidable alternative. Do you see what I see? For ordinary Nigerians struggling daily with rising costs and safety concerns, a united opposition could finally offer a meaningful choice. Second possibility: this may be a trial balloon and a test of loyalty and strength. By proceeding with the convention despite court cases and INEC warnings, the Mark-led faction is testing how far they can go and how the government and judiciary will respond. The expulsions send a clear signal to rival factions that they consider themselves in charge. Inviting high-profile guests could also be a way to attract more defectors from other parties and demonstrate growing influence. However,
If the litigation continues unresolved, it risks further splitting the party. This is thoughtful speculation, of course, but it is worth watching closely. Third possibility. It could be a power play by experienced political veterans. Notice that many of the key figures are former governors, vice presidents, and Senate presidents. They bring valuable experience, but some observers are asking whether this is simply the same established politicians seeking new platforms. While they speak about change, questions remain about their records when they previously held power. This convention might be a strategic effort to position the IDC as their vehicle for the 2027 presidential ticket. Atiku and Obi have not hidden their ambitions. Yet, if the focus stays only on elite interests without addressing the daily struggles of ordinary citizens, such as food prices, school fees, and healthcare costs, it may end up as another elite contest rather than genuine reform. Let me reason with you honestly, as a friend would. The bigger picture is the 2027 elections, which are drawing nearer. The economy remains under strain, with poverty levels reportedly having increased significantly under the current administration. As the opposition leaders pointed out, insecurity continues to affect many parts of the country, from the northeast to the southeast. Ordinary citizens, whether in Abuja, Lagos, or rural communities, are less concerned about party names and more focused on putting food on the table, educating their children, and living without fear. This convention could serve as a wake-up call for the ruling APC to improve performance. On the other hand, if the opposition fails to resolve its internal divisions quickly, it may expose its own weaknesses. David Mark stated there would be no retreat, no surrender. But the real test is whether this unity will last beyond the event or remain a one-time show. My balanced view is this. The move shows that opposition leaders have learned from the mistakes of 2023, when divided votes helped the ruling party. However, true change will not come from a single convention. It will depend on whether they can present practical solutions that improve the lives of everyday Nigerians. What do you think? Please share your honest opinion in the comment section below, as we look at the... So, how has the public reacted? Reactions on social media and in public discussions have been mixed. Some people are praising the event, saying, finally, the opposition is waking up. Others remain skeptical, pointing out that these are largely the same politicians returning in new arrangements. Young Nigerians in particular are asking where the fresh, younger voices are. Still, many agree that the criticisms about economic hardship and insecurity reflect the real struggles people face daily. What are the broader implications? For democracy, proceeding with the convention despite ongoing court cases could strengthen the principle of internal party democracy, but it might also create concerns if judicial processes are seen as being sidelined too easily. For national stability, rising political tensions as 2027 could increase pressure, but a strong and organized opposition can actually encourage better governance through healthy competition. For your daily life, if this leads to a credible alternative in 2027, it could eventually bring policies that reduce hardship. If it turns out to be mostly noise without substance, then the struggles of ordinary citizens may continue unchanged. This is not just an elite game. It directly affects farmers in Benue, traders in Onitsha, civil servants in Abuja, and families across the country. My people, here is the key takeaway. The IDC National Convention sends a clear message that sections of the opposition are not standing still. Whether it develops into genuine unity or gets caught up in more litigation, one thing is certain, the road to 2027 just became more interesting. But the most important question for all of us is this. Will these developments bring any real relief or improvement for ordinary Nigerians, or will it simply add another chapter to the familiar political story? Think about what this means for you, your vote, your voice, and your future. If this analysis helped you understand the situation more clearly, please like the video, leave your thoughts in the comments, tell me, is this real unity or just political drama? Share it with friends who need to see it, and subscribe for more balanced, in-depth political breakdowns. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you all in the next one. God bless Nigeria.